What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. MLB playoffs continued over the weekend, obviously. We are in the division series. National Division Series continued. In Game 2, Phillies beat the Mets 7-6. Walk-off hit from Nicholas Castellanos. Crazy back-and-forth game. Mets are up 3-0. They got a couple home runs from Vientos from the third, and Alonso fouled an inning or two later. Phillies hit a couple home runs off Severino on the sixth to tie it. And then Mets retook the lead of a home run by Pete Alonso. I think second was 7 to go up 4-3. Phillies went up 5-4 in the seventh inning. No, in the seventh inning, they went up 6-4 in the eighth. Although when Diaz, after they went to Buto, he got in trouble. Diaz came in, he got into some trouble. Tyler McGill finished off the eighth inning to keep it at 6-4. Mark Vientos game-tying two-run homer in the bottom of the eighth inning. That guy is going to be a superstar. He is so freaking good. People aren't talking about that guy now. The guy hit like 280, 270 with 24, 25 homers, had 60, 70 RBIs. He wasn't even a full-time player until at least sometime in May. So he's phenomenal. His defense was a lot better this year than when he first came up last year. He's a really good young player for the Mets. Become one of their best, more reliable hitters, honestly. One of their most consistent bats besides probably Lindor in the whole season. And then the bottom of the ninth, though, Castellanos for walk-off hit. Mendoza was a little bit limited. He already used Diaz, already used Buto. He didn't have as many guys in that bullpen as normally, so he kind of had to stick with Tyler McGill, who's a young starter who has been inconsistent throughout his career, and wasn't able to get it done. That being said, they gave a split. Series shifts to Queens, New York. Game 3 is going to be tomorrow. It should be huge. Yes, the Mets were home in the playoffs 2 years ago, but even so, Mets fans were so shell-shocked from freaking blowing the division lead at the end of the year. We kind of saw the writing on the wall. They were not going to beat the San Diego Padres that year. Now, it's anyone's series right now. They're hot. They're playing really well. There's a huge rivalry, Mets-Phillies, New York-Philadelphia. There should not be any empty seats in Citi Field tomorrow. I don't expect to see many empty seats at all. But Phillies pick up a big win, 1-1 going back to New York. Padres put the hammer down with Dodgers 10-2 in Game 2, so even up that series, Dodgers pitches a really good game, just a run over 7 innings. So some weird antics in that game. So the fans threw a baseball at Jurickson Profar. So in the first inning, bottom of the first inning, Profar made a leaping catch right in front of that really short left field fence in left field, and he kind of taunted the fans a little bit, kind of pretended like he didn't have the ball, but when he did, in fact, not even the announcers could tell if he had the ball. How the production people put up the home run graphic for Mookie Betts. And then later in the game, I think to start the seventh inning, he gave a ball to a Dodgers fan, I guess, kind of to you know what, all right, I trolled you, you're a good sport. Here's a baseball. And then he threw the baseball right back on the field. And Profar was like, all right, it's kind of a dick move, but whatever. Then the guy took another baseball and threw it at him. That is just pathetic. This is why I can't stand the Dodgers. Their fans are just a joke. That is pathetic. They should ban that guy forever from that stadium. That's horrible. Look, I get, playful banter. Every fan base has one player that just can't stand to just, is very arrogant towards them. For the Mets, it's Rhys Hoskins of the Brewers. Of course, it started when he was in Philadelphia. See, for a while, for the Yankees, it was Pedro Martinez. For the Red Sox, it was Alex Rodriguez for a while. Every fan base has that one guy. But come on, don't throw a baseball at the guy. What if you hit him in the head and he has a concussion? He has to, miss the rest of a guy who's one of the Padres' best players. Had a really good season. Their everyday left fielder. He's been batting second, third pretty much every game in the playoffs. He has to miss the rest of the series, or he gets seriously hurt. Come on, be better than that. That is just pathetic and just absolutely terrible. But other baseball news: Terry Francona is coming out of retirement. He's going to be the next manager of the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds named Terry Francona as their next manager. Bit of a surprise. Obviously, he retired after last year. He was He's had a long career. He actually was Michael Jordan's manager in the minor leagues. When Michael Jordan played Double-A baseball for the Chicago White Sox, this is obviously back in the 90s, Terry Francona was actually his manager. So a little fun fact, he was with the Boston Red Sox for a long time, won 2 World Series there, was with Cleveland for a while, was in the World Series in 2016. He's always been a great manager. I think a future Hall of Fame manager. He retired last year, but comes out of retirement to coach the Cincinnati Reds. That's a really good move for the Reds. Obviously, you move out from David Bell in the last week of the regular season. Guy was there for like 6 years, didn't really do a whole lot there. Other team have a lot of young pieces, haven't really been able to put it together. Need some more pitching, but they got a good start with Terry Francona becoming the new manager. He's probably one of the best managers of probably the last at least 20 years, 25, 30 years. It's a tough break for Joe Musgrove. He got Tommy John surgery right before the LDS. It's a tough break. He probably won't pitch next year either, which is a shame. It's a tough loss for the Padres. But you have Japanese superstar Tomoyuki Sugano is going to leave Japan and come to MLB. He's 34 years old. He's been in Japan for a while. He's been out there since 2013, so he's played the last 11 or 12 years in Japan. He's got a 2.45 career ERA. In 281 career games, he's become one of the best pitchers over there. He had a 1.78 ERA in 24 starts this year. So he's one of the superstars over there. Looks like he's going to be coming to MLB. So he should be a top free agent on the market this year. Well, obviously, a lot of Japanese superstars are coming over. Obviously, Ohtani is a big one. Not all of them work out. Yusei Kikuchi, though, he did pitch well for the Astros down the stretch. In the regular season, didn't work out. But, Shoto Umangas for the Cubs had a great year. Yoshi Yamamoto obviously got a huge deal from the Dodgers this past offseason when healthy, pitched well overall. But they got slammed in the playoff game so far. But there's a lot of guys that are doing that now. And the town over there is almost as good as it is in MLB, honestly. That's how good their baseball program is. But Sugano looks like he'll be the next guy to come over. And the Twins general manager Thad Levine is going to step down. They say he's going to step down to pursue other opportunities both inside and outside of baseball. That kind of seems like a mutual thing to me. I mean, the Twins have been mediocre for a long time. He's been there a while. So they probably need to change anyway. But I think that was kind of a mutual thing. I think, they're like both realized, all right, he probably was kind of like, it's kind of run its course here. And the Twins are like, you know what? You're right. Let's move on. So Thad Levine stepping down as GM of the Minnesota Twins. The Boston Bruins extend Jeremy Swayman. They got the deal done. 8 years, $66 million, $8.25 million a year. Obviously, they were going back and forth with negotiations. Don Sweeney, the head hockey operations guy over there, did a press conference last week saying, they have the offer out there. I think it was 8 for 64. They were kind of waiting on him. And the agent came out and said, this is the first time we're ever hearing about it. He obviously wasn't happy. They were Schrader was swirling, but they get it done. 8 for 66. Swayman came out and said, I've always wanted to stay here. And I'm just trying to figure out a number. And they figured it out. So, Junior Corposado, who's their backup, will probably start day one. Swayman hasn't practiced much. So, but he'll probably miss the first few games, just get himself into game shape. But I'm sure very shortly he will be back in net for the Boston Bruins. He's one of the best goalies in the league. You look at his number ever since he entered the league. It's clear the guy had it. Like even his first season, 1.5 goals against average in 10 games he played. In 2022, 41 games, he had 2.4 goals against average, 914 save percentage. 2 years ago, he had 2.27, 920, and 37 games. Here in 44 games, he had 2.53, 916, 44 games, and in the playoffs he was absolutely brilliant. Obviously him and Omar were split the whole year, even in the playoffs. But by the end of the first round series, it was clear he was the better goalie. And he started the rest of the first round and for that second round series as well. So, Boston locks up their goaltender. What that means for Igor Shesterkin for the Rangers, obviously they're trying to lock him up. Hoping number isn't too bad. I love Igor. I think he's the top 3 goalie in the league, but if you give him $12 million, I don't know how you're going to build a roster, especially with all the contracts I have. But Bruins extend Jeremy Swayman 8 years, $66 million. Let's recap college football. Crazy week of college football. Oregon beats Michigan State 31-10. They came in ranked 6th in the country. Michigan State isn't that good. Dylan Gary throws for 257 and 2 touchdowns. Syracuse, a mini upset over UNLV, 44-41 in the high-scoring game. Kyle McCord, 40 of 63 for 355 and 3 touchdowns. Played very well. Syracuse picks up a win. Vanderbilt defeats Alabama. Their first win against a top 5 team, I think in like over 4 years, since like 1985 or something. Or maybe it was the first time they beat. No, I think it was the first time they've ever beaten the number 1 team in the country. Or maybe top 5 team. Crazy. So Alabama went from beating Georgia to become the number 1 team in the country to losing to freaking Vanderbilt. Wow. That is one of the biggest upsets in college football in years. Incredible upset for Vanderbilt as they beat Alabama. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Number 3, Ohio State beats Iowa 35-7. That will be console not comment. Iowa just they can't score. Simple as that. Arkansas was a major upset over number 4 Tennessee, 19-14. Tennessee was up. Watching they were down 3-0 at the half. They went up going to the fourth quarter by a few points. I think by 5. They're up 14-10. Something like that, but then Arkansas sneaks past them. Huge upset for the Razorbacks. Number 5, Georgia defeats Auburn 31-13. Number 7, Penn State over UCLA 27-11. Miami hangs on. Number 8, Miami comes back to beat Cal 39-38. They were down big going into the fourth quarter. I think they're down by 17 points. But Cameron leads a comeback. He threw for 437 and 2 scores in that game. So big comeback win for Miami, who hangs on to beat Cal. Number 25, Texas A&M upset over number 9, Missouri, 41-10. It's kind of like a small upset. I can see A&M win that game going in. The tough loss from Missouri to get blown out, but A&M looks good. They're 5-1 so far. Washington's a big upset over Michigan, 27-17, and that might be a wash for Michigan. We knew they were going to be the same team. Obviously, you lose Harbaugh, is a ginormous loss. Lose your quarterback, your running back, your top receiver. This was not going to be the same team. There was no way. It just wasn't going to happen. And, obviously, you lost to Texas earlier in the year, but they are one of the best teams in the country. Now you lose to an unranked Washington team that lost nearly everything last year. Their staff, their entire offense. Yeah, their chances of making the college football playoff are basically zero now. I don't see how they get in. You had Minnesota beating USC 24-17, another big upset. Every year of USC, every year of Lincoln Riley. Every single year. They just can't do it. Every year they come in, they're stacked, they're going to be a top 10 team, top 5 team. Every year it happens. That's their second loss, so they're going to have trouble getting in as well. Number 12, Ole Miss beats South Carolina 27-3. Number 15, Clemson beats Florida State 29-13. Good lord, that Florida State team is bad. Klubnik has played better this year for Clemson. Threw for 236, 3 scores in that game. Number 16, Iowa State beats Baylor 43-21. Number 21, Boise State beats Utah State 62-30. Ashton Jeanty, holy moly. 186 yards, actually. 3 touchdowns. He had like 2 60-plus yard touchdowns in the first quarter. That guy is just insane. He's over 1,000 yards 5 games into the year. He is just, wow. He's going to win the Heisman. I don't know when he'll go into the draft, but he will be the top runner taken when he does. SMU upsets number 22 Louisville 34-27. So SMU playing well right now. And then number 23 Indiana beats Northwestern 41-24. So a wild week in college football. AP rankings obviously a big shakeup. Texas back from the number 1 spot. They're in their freaking bye, and they see they're like, ooh, Alabama, Tennessee lost. Ooh, cool. Ohio State's now number 2. They move up a spot. Oregon up to number 3 in the country. Penn State is up to 4th. Penn State's ranked 4th in the country. Wow. Georgia remains at 5th. Miami up to 6th. You have Alabama, Plymouth down to 7th. Tennessee down to 8th in the country. Ole Miss now 9th. Clemson shoots up to number 10. Iowa State up to number 11. Notre Dame up to number 12. LSU remains at 13. BYU up to 14. Texas A&M fires all the way up to 15th in the country. Utah is up to 16th. Boise State is up to 17th in the country. You have Kansas State up to 18. Indiana's up to 19. They're 18. 19 is Oklahoma. Missouri plummets to 21st. Pitt's now ranked at 22nd. Illinois is at 23rd. Michigan plummets to 24th. And SMU enters the rankings at 25th. All right. Let's talk some NFL. Obviously, the crazy Thursday night game. The Falcons beating the Bucs 36-30. Back and forth. Kirk Cousins, 509 yards and 4 touchdowns. Incredible performance. One of the best games of his career. Crazy game that went to overtime. The Falcons wins. Kadero Hodge, the big play for the game-winning touchdown. Tampa's got to get rid of Topples. He's not a good coach. Both teams are now 3-2. The London game, Vikings beat the Jets 23-17. More of a same for the Jets. Rodgers looked absolutely horrible. He threw 3 interceptions. The line didn't look great. They were undisciplined. They started off slow. Same stuff with this team. The team is screwed. The offense isn't that much better, honestly. Rodgers does not near the same. They're struggling to run the ball. People saying trade for Devontae Adams, like they desperately need him, but holy hell, that's not gonna solve all their problems. Will it help? I mean, yeah, you're bringing an all-pro receiver. Obviously, you can't really get any worse. I don't know how that's possible. Obviously, he's got chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, but like, does that help will it change the fact that the offensive line still isn't very good? No. Will change the fact that, you have a 40-year-old nut job quarterback coming off a torn Achilles? No. Will change the fact that, they are as poorly coached as can possibly be? No. It's not going to work. In fact, I don't think the situation is that much better than the Raiders, to be honest. In the Raiders, Jets on paper probably have a better roster, 1-53, but the Raiders are a much better coach team. They probably have a better offensive line. So I don't know. Don't think that would really solve any problems. But the Vikings, man, 5-0. Sam Darnold, have his best game, but he's also going against a very good defense. He's looked very good so far. Also, they got a lot of playmakers over there. Hopefully, Aaron Jones is okay for their sake. And that defense has really stepped up. Kudos to Brian Flores. He might be a head coach next year again. The Bears beat the Panthers 36-10. So Caleb's definitely his best game to this point. DeAndre Swift, who struggled the first few weeks, he has woken up the last 2 games. Bears offense, I think the best it has all year. Panthers, it's the Panthers. They won 1 game against the Raiders, and people were freaked out. Yes, Andy Dalton was better than Bryce. Bryce Young, he came in the very end of the game, actually looked pretty good. So I'm not changing my mind to them. I felt like the guy sucks, but it's a good sign for his sake. But big win for the Bears. They get to 3-2. Panthers up to 1-4, by just 1 hour, 2-3. Ravens beat the Bengals in a crazy game, 41-38 in overtime. Bengals were up 38-28 in the fourth quarter. Ravens come back to win that game. Big game from Lamar Jackson as well as Derrick Henry. Bengals are 1-4. Joe Burrow said we are not a championship team. We gotta be better, and he's right. That defense is absolutely horrible. He sucks. They suck, rather. They are just dreadful. And now Dax Hill, one of their starting corners, might be out for the year for torn ACL. They're in trouble. It's a shame because Joe Burrow, besides week 1, has actually balled out. He's playing great. He's playing like the elite quarterback that he is. And, that offense is obviously very talented. But, my God, that defense sucks. And now they got injured on the offensive line. Trent Brown's out for the year. He was all right. He was one of your tackles. Your first rounder, Marius Mims, got hurt in the game, so they got injured on the offensive line again. Bengals are in trouble. They're at 1-4. But Zach Taylor, he's going to lose his job. He is not that good of a coach. He just has a great roster. They haven't liked what he's done this year. I think he's going to lose his job sooner rather than later. Tech comes over the Bills, 23-20. So Stephon Diggs gets his revenge against Allen. So they kind of dapped up at the end. You see Diggs kind of give him like a side eye at the end. Obviously, some of some other players, they were kind of really chatting it up and sort of happy to see each other. You see Allen and Diggs, it honestly seemed forced. But Tech can pick up a win. Josh Allen really struggled 9 of 30 for 130-something yards. He looked really bad in that game. That's the thing with Josh Allen. Every year he starts off great. Then he has a couple of rough games where he has some turnover issues. He can be a little inconsistent. But when he's on, he's as talented of a quarterback as there is in this league. And there are not 3 quarterbacks better than him. When he's off, it's hard for you to win football games. But Texans pick up a win. Tamika Ryan is such a good coach. That's a really good roster. Jaguars finally win again. They beat the Colts 37-34. Flacco actually had a big game. They put 350 and 3 touchdowns in the game. But Jacksonville finally picks up the win. The Colts aren't that much better. They're at 2-3. That defense is not very good at all. Jaguars pick up a much-needed win. They're not much better. They're 1-4. Dolphins beat the Patriots 15-10. Patriots kind of got goofed in that game by the refs. Late in the game, so the Dolphins took a 15-10 lead. It was 10-9. They didn't get the 2-point conversion. Brissett threw a touchdown, I think, to Polk. It was weird. So he got his feet in. So I guess the rule is, it was some weird rules like when you toe drag has to be consecutive. Like it's got to be like your foot comes down, then you can't be like your foot comes down and it taps again, and then your other foot drags. So they said that the toe drag didn't count. Some weird rule. If that's the rule, it's the rule, but that's a really weird rule. But they lose. They drop to 1-4. Holy hell, the offense is bad. Ramondre Stevenson, they said he wasn't going to start. He didn't start the game. He still got decent amount of work. Actually had a good game, so we'll see what they do next week with the running backs. But that line sucks. Brissett. Miami, the first time they held the lead when they went up for 3-0, it was their first lead of the season. Even when they won week 1, they were losing or tied the whole game with Jacksonville, and they won on a field goal with time expired. Then they never led the next 3 games, and they finally pick up a win in this game. So their offense just looks dreadful. So we got like Tua. I mean, he's not that good. He's a mediocre quarterback that's overpaid and just looks better because of his weapons. But without him, holy hell, they look even worse. And then the Commanders beat the Browns 34-13. Commanders continue to look great. Jay Daniels is playing really well. Holy moly, Deshaun Watson. What else is there to say? They need to bench him. I don't care about the money. They need to bench him. The season is over. Okay, the season for the Cleveland Browns is over. Okay, the Cleveland Guardians have a 7-month season. The Browns season, which is usually about 4 months, is over for the Cleveland Guardians season. The Guardians are currently playing obviously in the MLB playoffs. They are done. Deshaun Watson is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Your top back Nick Chubb is still out. Your offensive line is depleted. That locker must be a disaster. You saw freaking Stefanski 24-3 in the third quarter. He was going to go for it because you kind of after at that point, and then Deshaun Watson just walk off the field. The guy doesn't care. He knows what he did. He doesn't care. He settled all of his legal cases to this point. Besides obviously there's one more lawsuit that's currently pending from 2 weeks ago. And he's getting paid $47 million a year. He doesn't care anymore. He's changed as a person. He's not the same player, not the same person. It's weird. The guy's not even 30 years old. And, he was only he was a league quarterback only 4 years ago. But it seems like eons ago that, that was the case. It seemed like, it seems like it's like, the guy's 38 years old and the guy hasn't been good since he was 32. No, he got 28, 29. He was he was a league quarterback 4 years ago. So they need to, I know the money. I get it. I cannot imagine that Kevin Stefanski has any say in that. There is no way he would be the starter by now. A team is way too talented to waste their season. And they already have. The season's done. They are done. I don't know how many games they're going to win. Maybe 5. Maybe they can sneak past Cincinnati once because of how bad that defense is. Maybe. They may have Denver or Carolina. They might be able to win that. But other than that, I don't know how they win another game. The team is horrible. They need to do something with Deshaun Watson. I think Stefanski hates him. He clearly looks frustrated. The receivers I don't think like him. The defense, I think that's great defense. I know they just got lit up. They're tired. They're just done. They're done with this guy. Can't imagine anyone that locker room has any respect for him. The guy doesn't care anymore. They need to start. I don't know if this is hot or not, but to me, Jameis Winston is so clearly the better quarterback on that team. Jameis Winston right now is the best quarterback on that roster. And I don't think it's even close. And I'm a Jameis Winston guy. I mean, he's funny. He seems like a great guy to hang out with. But as a player, obviously, he's a turnover machine. He's the reason he's not a starter in the league. He's a draft bust, being the first pick in 2015. But he is so obviously, to me, the best quarterback in that room. It's not even funny. It's so obvious that he's not. The reason he is not starting is because of money. It could not be more obvious. I think that's something's coming from the top. Because they just don't want to look just that embarrassed. Honestly, I think they're just waiting. You're hoping that lawsuit goes through and they can just void the contract. I think that's what they're waiting on. Because otherwise, they are screwed. Because they still owe the guy $150 million. You can't have the guy on the roster next year. You cannot do that. You just can't. You just can't. But you have Baker Mayfield, who's a borderline top 15 quarterback at least. And, you trade him away for nothing. He's making $30 million or so for the Bucs right now. Last year, he made $8 million. And Deshaun Watson's making $47 million a year on average, and he's doing that. and he's bottom 5 starting quarterback in the league by far. Like, Joe Flacco has been a backup since, like, what, 2018, 2019, 2020. He is much better than Deshaun Watson. Andy Dalton's been a backup since, what, 2020 or so. He's a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. It's not even close. Like, to me, Bryce Young, like, he's, like, on the field is probably just as bad as Deshaun Watson, except he's only in his second year in the league. He was the first pick in the draft. And he's a hell of a lot less expensive, and he's actually a good kid and a hardworking kid. So they need to get him out of there. They need to do something. They have to find a way out of that contract, otherwise they are going to be crippled for at least the next 5 to 6 years. Broncos beat the Raiders 34-18. Holy hell, that Broncos, they're not that good, but the Raiders, they are bad. I don't know how they won 2 games. They are horrible. Minshew got benched for Aiden O'Connell. I don't know what they're going to do. Got Devontae Adams. Wants out. Their Trump got traded him. They are just a mess. Just an other mess. I like Antonio Pierce, but, a few weeks ago, the Carolina Panthers, the biggest clown show in the NFL. Andy Dalton, starting only like his second game in the last, 2 years. And he just lights you up. You get demolished. Are you kidding me? You're going up against a Broncos team. You got a struggling rookie quarterback. He threw for 60 yards the week before. The reason they won because of how bad the Jets are. Just how bad that offense is. And you get lit up for 34. Holy moly. Now, Max Crosby after the game was saying, you call it like Michael Lombardi on the Pat McAfee was saying, he's going to be traded. But I cannot imagine he's not happy there either. They need to trade him. He does not deserve any of that. He's a great story, overcoming all he's overcome with the addiction issues he had earlier in his life. Become an absolute stud. One of the best defensive players, period, in the league. And they're wasting his career. They need to get rid of him. Need to trade him to an actual contender. Broncos somehow won 3 in a row, which is shocking. The Raiders, holy hell, they are not good. And the Cardinals have a huge upset of the San Francisco 49ers, 24-23. Big upset for the Arizona Cardinals. 49ers, something is wrong. They should not be 2-3. I know they've had some injuries. McCaffrey's been out all year, but Jordan Mason has stepped up. Debo missed a couple of games. Kale missed a game. Javon Hargrave's out for the year. You haven't seen Drake Greenlaw yet, but still. Debo's been back. Kale only missed 1 game. He was never hurt. He was just rusty because he was being an idiot throughout the whole offseason. You knew you were going to have Drake Greenlaw to at least midseason this year. Hargrave, they still have plenty of firepower on the defensive line. You still have Nick Bosa, who's a stud edge rusher. The team should not be 2-3. This is the second 10-point lead in the second half that Kyle Shanahan has blown. He has an overtime in the playoffs. I've tried to say, all right, I think he's a great coach, but he's going to win a big game. I've said, all right, you can't fire him yet at this point. Are we sure to, whoever the hell one of the coordinators is can get this team to the Super Bowl? Are you sure? I don't even know who the coordinators are at this point. But are you sure, that they couldn't get them to the freaking playoffs or, the freaking Super Bowl? I don't know. That's very concerning that they are 2-3. They need to pick it up, and they need to pick it up now. But big win for Arizona. Kyler plays very well in that game. James Conner played well also. Packers beat the Rams 24-19. Now, what that play was by Jordan Love, that pick 6, yikes. That was some Will Levis type crap. Might be the worst pick 6 I've ever seen. Holy hell, when the Rams, they're bad. Their receivers are banged up. They have injuries. They're old. This isn't the same team. Packers get the 3-2. Rams are at 1-4. Giants over the Seahawks 29-20. That's a tough loss for Seattle. At home against an inferior team. That defense is just dreadful. Giving up 29 to the freaking Giants without Blake Neighbors and Devin Singletary. But Daniel Jones played a good game. He's played better the last few weeks. A little bit better. He's not pushing what's on the field still, but I saw into the game. One of the Rams was going crazy on Instagram Live or TikTok Live with his teammates, and then Dable goes, "Hey, stop posting that. You know what?" And he goes, "Oh, sorry," and ended immediately. So, if nothing else, it shows that they have a lot of respect for Dable in the locker room. Because he ended it right away. Dable looks after the game. He looked completely just locked in. I think he's just tired the antics of how bad that team has been. Also, on the Rollins, he's a nice little player, but he's had some drop issues this year. He was probably thinking, dude, you've had a couple of big drops this year. Maybe don't be celebrating, being the freaking Seahawks, the mediocre Seattle Seahawks, in week 5, and you're still a below average team. Like, no, we're not doing that. You could tell a Dayball, coach under both Nick Saban and Bill Belichick in his career, and even Sean McDermott for that matter. So Giants pick up a big win in that one. Obviously, they bluffed the game time field return for a touchdown in the final minute of the game. That was huge. Cowboys beat the Steelers 2017 game ended at 1 in the morning. It was a weather delay that pushed the start time all the way to quarter to 10. An hour and a half delay. Dallas, they're playing just to beat these bad teams. They're going to be the same thing every year. They'll go 9-8, 10-7. They'll sneak into the playoffs and they'll lose in the first round. Same stuff with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak again didn't play well. He's not that good. They ran the ball a little bit better, but outside of that, not much to see there. And Steelers, the line did not play very well. They didn't run the ball well. For some reason, George Pickens was on a snap count, which didn't make any sense. Fields, didn't play great, but he's the best option they have there. They lose their second straight game. Dallas and Steelers both now 3-2. And the Monday Night Football tonight is going to be the Saints and the Chiefs. All right. So I got for you guys today. Tomorrow, you'll probably see me a little bit later than usual, but I will see you tomorrow. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.